Hey guys, welcome back to Hey Mummy, and today I'm going to share something. Well, I don't know if I'm going to share it today because I've avoided sharing about this for a really long time. It was probably 5 years ago. No, it must have been even more than that. 6 years ago, when I was really struggling with postnatal depression and panic attacks and anxiety after having baby number 3, and I filmed a panic attack. We even got asked in the Channel Mum team a while back whether anyone would share their experience with panic attacks. It's something that I can talk about, but a video that I've just never shared. It's sat on my phone. I did it for our YouTube channel at the time and just never thought I could share such a personal and, for me, horrific moment. It's taken years for me even to be able to watch the video back, because to me it just triggers so many painful thoughts and feelings about a really tough time where I think my mental health started to be affected by lots of things. Postnatal depression really knocked me third time round. I just didn't feel the same after baby number 1 and baby number 2. It was third time round that I began to feel like I couldn't cope. I couldn't get everything done the way that I wanted to do it. It wasn't even, I had people around me telling me that I was doing an incredible job. My husband was away all the time, 3 kids, I was working, I was juggling so much. I was breastfeeding one, had one at nursery, one at school, and was constantly being told that I was so strong and I was holding it together. And I guess it was having those comments all the time that were just making me feel more and more guilty about the fact that under the surface I wasn't holding it together. I wasn't. Anxiety was starting to take hold. Panic attacks were creeping up on me and I hadn't even realised it was going on. My breathing would start to go. I would feel sick. I could feel my heart beating faster. I hadn't even realised I was doing it, but I was starting to manage it without really realising what was happening, and quite often would have to take a breath and just close my eyes for 2 minutes, take a step out of what I was doing. Became more short-tempered than I am. Just felt like I couldn't cope with things that normally I could cope with without thinking about. Started to feel like I just wasn't getting stuff done that I needed to get done. Feeling anxious about people around me and situations, things I had to do, anything that put a bit of pressure on me, any timekeeping, getting to airports, getting things wrong, all would just send me into a bit of a spin, and I started to struggle with panic attacks. It affects so many people in different ways, but for me it was, I just couldn't take a breath, and sometimes that was hideous to a point of but do you know what, maybe now is the time that I do share that and I am honest with you guys. I think this is a great week to do it. We're looking at maternal mental health, and it was postnatal depression that triggered a lot of problems for me with mental health, and it's now something that I am happy to highlight. It's something that I'm happy to talk about and share in the hope that it will help someone else out there identify what's wrong and maybe go and get help before I did, because I was so desperate not to admit there was something wrong that I left it and I pretended there wasn't a problem. And actually there's some incredible therapy out there. The doctor's support now is fantastic. There is no shame. Your children aren't going to get taken away from you if you're suffering with anxiety, depression, panic attacks. And you know, I think when I started to go through it, my husband didn't understand it at the time. There's so much more information for partners online now. And so if you're a partner or a family member and you are watching this perhaps because you want to know how to help somebody, don't ever tell them to calm down. Don't ever tell them to start being positive, because those are all the worst things you can do. The best thing you can do is just be there. Just be a support, a silent support sometimes. You don't always need to talk about it, because so often you can't explain. There's not even a reason sometimes for having a panic attack. It just happens, and the anxiety just creeps up on you without you seeing it coming. So that's as best I can describe it with you. I'm going to share a bit of the video, which is a really tough thing for me to do, because I do watch it back and it embarrasses me and it hurts. I don't know whether I'm ever going to be able to post this video. And up until now I've decided not to talk about it. But part of me feels like I'm not being honest by not shooting a video about it. But for about a year now I've been suffering from anxiety and having panic attacks. It's been getting a lot better, but certain situations just trigger a really anxious state for me. You can probably see, because the camera's moving, that my hand starts to shake. My breathing goes. Sometimes I can feel my heart beating fast. I can't take a breath. Sometimes my hands start to tingle and go numb, and it's really hard. It's just something since having baby number 3, and I've had postnatal depression, and I just get these moments of anxiety and stress, and it's horrible. It can change who I am as a person. I can get anxious and stressed with the kids a lot more, and it's really tough. There's absolutely no control over it whatsoever, and certain things trigger it. And this morning, as you can see, I'm having one of those moments. I'm trying to pack for my mum and dad's, and I've had a few stressful situations there where I feel like my kids don't behave well enough, and it makes me anxious going there. I went to bed early last night because I could feel that I was starting to get stressed. I thought I wouldn't start packing last night because I just needed to sleep. So I went to sleep, and then this morning I've woken up and I've got so much to do before leaving, that I've just started to feel really anxious, and I just felt I should do a video because I feel like not sharing this part of my life with you possibly just isn't being honest. I don't know whether I'll ever get around to posting it, or if I'll just look back at this and delete. But it's really tough. Being a mummy is really tough. 24/7, especially when you're doing it on your own a lot. 24/7 is hard work. Luckily my anxiety's is getting easier, and I'm having panic attacks less and less, but yeah, it's not been an easy year, that's for sure. Since Ozzy started school, it's as though 9.5 years of hard work has just gone. Anyway, there we are. That's my honest video for you, which I'll probably never post, but there it is.